Let's take a look at exercise 13.1 from the IGCSE text. IGCSE exercise 13.10. Completing the square, we've chosen this one here. I'm hoping to do all of them, but given the time, I've got a huge number of requests that I've got this evening. I'm going to just do one from each number. So we've got one from 1, 2, 3, and 4 looks quite cool. We've got a whole lot, and I notice the coefficients of the x squareds are non-one numerical values. So I might actually do a whole bunch from 4, because they look obviously the most challenging ones. But I'll do at least one from each of the other ones in the meantime. So here's number 2. Let's have a look. It says we've got x squared plus 7x plus 9 is equal to 0. So let's solve that right now. Let's see how we go. Right, okay, so first jobs first. I'll restate question so I can see what I've done to it as I do it. So I'm going to subtract 9 from both sides. There it is. Restate x, and what implies that signs are quite useful really at this point. Is equal to -9. All right, so what have we got here? Now we've got, oh, this looks good. We've got a nice big gap here. By the way, the negative's a bit of a flag, really. We want this side here, if it's solvable, to be either 0 or greater than 0. The moment it's less than 0, in other words, it's a negative number, that means, and I mean, the whole thing, once it's all added and subtracted, if this side here is negative at the end of the day, we have to say there's no solution. And in this case, that's not going to be the case. I can see where it's going already. So let's see where that is going. So I'm going to add to that the b term, which is 7. I'm going to halve it, and I'm going to square it. Add the b term, I'm going to halve it, I'm going to square it. There it is. So now let's see where I sit. And this is the nice and easy bit. I've got an x here now. I've got a square on the outside. I'm going to put a plus. And whatever's in there, I'm going to put, that's going to be 7 on 2. Now, I'm going to not put 3.5. I don't want to put halves. I don't want decimals here, okay? So I've got a -9. And I've got here 7 squared is going to be 49. And I've got a 2 there. And 2 squared, of course, is going to be a 4. So I can turn that into an improper. I got 49 on 4 though. That's really interesting. So let's actually do that on the calculator. 49 on 4, and I'm going to subtract 9. Let's see where I land. So 49 on 4 minus 9. And it's a positive. If it was a negative, I would be in trouble, but I'm not. When I say in trouble, there would be no solution. And I could just write no solution at this point. I wouldn't have to worry any further about it. But I do have 13 on 4, which is kind of cool. So I've now got x plus 7 on 2, all squared, is 13 on 4. Now I'm going to find the square root of both sides. I'm going to find the square root of this side, square root of this side. This becomes immediately a plus or minus. And of course, the square and the square root cancel each other, leaving me with x plus 7 on 2 is equal to, and I'll put plus or minus. Now, root 13, I don't know what root 13 is, but I do know what root 4 is, which is just 2. So it's just 2 there. And I'm going to subtract 7 on 2, from both sides, leaving me on this side with my x. Here's my x value. And I've now got a common denominator as well. So I could put a -7 plus or minus root 13 all over, because it's all over 2. We've got those things added together. It's all over 2. And at this stage, I can then say either. And I should do it as a decimal. They do like them as decimals. And most of these, by the way, won't turn out to anything other than, root 13. It's not going to be a rational number. And in fact, any non-square root usually is going to be some sort of an irrational number. So let's see what we got first. So I've got, I'm going to do the addition first. So I've got a -7, and I'm going to add that to root 13. So here's my root 13, and I'm going to add -7. So I'm going to put plus -7, or just -7 would do it, and I'm going to divide it all by 2. And so that looks pretty okay. I got 1.697. So this is 2dp, so I'm going to call it 1.67. I think, yeah, 1.670. So it's going to be negative 1.6 Oh, what am I doing? 1.7, oh crikey. Where's my rubber dog? Oh, here we go. Yeah. 1.7. 1.69 becomes 1.7. My bad. Here we go. Sorry about the smudges and everything else. 1.70, it's a negative. Or x is going to equal, and we'll do the same thing again. This time I'm going to go -7 minus root 13. So I can just do that all in one go, actually. So I put -7 minus root 13. And I get -10.6. I'm dividing that by 2. And I'm going to end up with a 5.30. Yep, that'll work. So equals -5.30. So you can express it like that. Or if you wanted, you could express it as x as an element of, and make the smallest one first, -5.30, comma, -1.70. And that would be the way I would express the answer.